Okay, so again, good morning, everyone. This is Liz. We will be going over the Clarity New Interface Office Hours 3 today. To better organize questions the HMIS Help Desk receives during the training, our team recommends that you submit your questions through the Q&A option. We request that you keep your questions general and related to the topics discussed in the training. Agency-specific questions are best supported through the HMIS Help Desk ticket submission, so our team is able to further investigate and provide assistance for your request. If you can, also please put your name and your agency in the chat box. So for today's agenda, we will be going over the new interface rollout schedule, services, assessments, notes, and files. So we will have about 3 different demos today. All meeting materials and recording will be available on the OCHMIS website after this meeting. So starting off with the Clarity interface rollout schedule. So this has all began starting back July 6th, which we enabled the new interface on the OC Training Clarity site. So for all of you that have been completing the recertification, you should have already been utilizing the new interface. On July 8th, the HMIS team did complete a live new interface training. Those meeting materials are currently available on the OC HMIS website. And then currently now we're on the August 2026 office hours. So for the next few weeks, we are still hosting additional office hours to continue going over the new Clarity interface functionality. So we do encourage you all to continue attending that. The office hours are on our calendar on our website. Then September 1st, the new interface will be enabled on the live Clarity website. And then October 1st, our Legacy Clarity will sunset. So please keep an eye out for the weekly newsletters to review the new functionality of the new Clarity interface. The Legacy Clarity will sunset October 1st. However, users will have 30 days to continue to get familiar with the new interface. Users will be able to switch between the two interfaces until the Legacy Clarity is sunsetted. So as you can see here on this orange box that is highlighted with an arrow, that allows you to maneuver through the new and current interface to the new interface. So the next additional steps are to complete the HMIS Part 2 recertification to practice a new workflow on the new interface. We did send out the Part 2 recertification reminders yesterday, so please keep an eye out for those emails. Also, you can complete the Clarity Human Services new interface course. Continue attending the August office hours for additional support. Review the July new interface Clarity training materials and review Clarity's new look and common functions. So once we send out these slides, you'll be able to click on all of these links, which will take you to those additional courses. Starting off with our first functionality of the new Clarity interface, we will be going over the Services tab. So the Services tab includes all service history, agency and program level, and the ability to add and manage services. The service history screen will display the service name, start and end date, and created by fields for all previously recorded services. Use the show and hide fields icon to change the order or collapse fields to appear when the user clicks on the caret. The door icon on the right indicates that a service was entered at the project level. The dollar icon indicates that an expense was recorded within the service. Moving on to our service detail screen, this service detail screen provides a snapshot of the service name, category, and service items recorded, as well as the name of the agency and staff that entered the service. Within the service details section, there is additional information about the service's dates, location, and time tracking if enabled. If a dollar and expense tracking was enabled for the service, that information may be added for an existing service. The majority of services entered by users will be set up at the project level. To access and add services at the program level, you will navigate to the client navigation menu and select programs. And you can identify all of that in the GIF on the right-hand side as well. Second step is to locate and open the enrollment. Find and select the services button. click the add icon to view services available for that project, and then select the service item you want to record. If desired, users may select the lock icon to set the service to private. Then you will be able to complete the service item information and select save and and record the service. Deleting and editing service items. To delete a service, you will click on the service to view the service details, then select the 3 vertical dots to show more actions and select delete. To edit details of a service, click on the edit icon to expand the service details. Edit any of the fields and/or set the service to private by clicking on the lock icon. Users who are switched into an agency that is different from the one that provided the service will not be able to delete or edit that service. And here within the slides, you're able to click for an interactive guided demo to add program level services. So again, we do encourage you all to go through these slides after this. Now we will be moving over to a services demo on the training Clarity site. So I'm going to switch over. So as you can see, Elizabeth, can you confirm that you can see my training site?
Yes, we can see your training site.
Perfect. Okay, so currently we are on a fictitious client's profile. So for today's demo, I will be covering how to add services at the program level, as services completed at the program level occur more common than they do at the agency level. So the first thing that you will do once you're on the client's profile is ensure you're under the appropriate agency. So services differ depending on the agency that you're under. Once you've confirmed that you're under the appropriate agency, you will navigate to the left-hand side, which is the navigation menu, and select programs. The programs is, you can identify that by the door icon. Once you're on the programs tab, then you're able to see what programs your client is currently enrolled in. So you want to go ahead and select the program that you want to complete the service in. So for today's training, we will be completing it under the Permanent Supportive Housing Training Project. You're going to select it. And then you're going to navigate at the top row where it says services. And under the services, you're able to see the client's service history here. Utilizing the search bar, you can search for a specific service that was completed. You can also utilize the filter option to narrow down your options and also to show and hide the fields here. To complete the service, what we're going to do is navigate to this plus icon, which is the add, and you're going to select the add icon. The first step is to select a service, and all of the available services will be available here. So for today's training, we're going to do the transportation service. So you're going to select the service that you need and then click next. Second step is to select a service item. So depending on the services, there may be additional service items that were enabled for the project. So for this one, we're just going to select the bus pass and then click next. And then you're going to provide the service here. The start date will automatically default to today's date, and so will the end date. And again, there's additional service items that may be enabled depending on the service. So in this case, there's geolocation options, and sometimes there's also time tracking options. And then you can include any important notes here. And you're also able to include additional group members. For today, we're only going to do it for the head of household, and we're going to select save once we've completed that. And then you're going to complete the service. Now, it'll send you back to the services tab, and you're again able to identify any services that have already been completed. On the right-hand side where it says more actions, if you click on it, you'll be able to expand the service detail. And here, if you select the edit icon, which is the pencil icon, you can go ahead and make any necessary edits, as well as making the service private. So currently right now, you can see that the service is unlocked and it shows that it's public. If you select it, it will go to private and it'll notify you that at the bottom. And then you can click save. And to make any additional edits, like deleting it, if you open the service details again, select the three vertical dots, you can go ahead and click delete. And then it'll ask you if you're sure that you want to delete this record, and then you can go ahead and press delete if you're confirmed that that's the service that you want delete. So that concludes our service demo. So I'm going to move over back to our slides. Does anybody have any questions as of right now? If you do, please input it in the Q&A section. And I don't think I see any questions coming in, so we're going to move over to our assessments. So the assessments tab includes all assessment history and the ability to modify or delete assessments depending on the user's access role. A search bar is located on the page to quickly find a specific assessment previously recorded for the client. Use the show and hide fields to order collapse the assessment history information. Hover over the door icon for information about which project assessment was completed. Click on any assessment to open and review responses, and users with agency administrator level access will find the delete function available on the screen. To complete an assessment available for a specific project, navigate to the Programs tab, open the Enrollment and navigate to the Assessments tab. Select the Add button, which again is the plus icon. Select an assessment from the list. Complete the assessment, and you can set this one again to private if needed, and select Save and Close. Assessments can be edited by clicking on the existing assessment and clicking the Edit button. Assessments can be deleted by agency administrators from the screen by selecting the three vertical dots and clicking Delete. To delete an assessment from the Assessments tab, you will click on the assessment to open it and view details. Select the three vertical dots for more actions, delete the assessments. And again, the deleting option is only going to show for agency administrators only. To edit an assessment from the Assessments tab, select the pencil icon instead to edit the assessment, date, or any of the responses. Edits to assessments should only be made if the original responses recorded are incorrect or inaccurate. So now we're going to move over back to the training site to complete an assessment demo. So as you can see, we're back on our fictitious profile. So we're going to navigate to the left hand where it says the client navigation menu, and we're going to click on programs, and we're going to be completing a program level assessment again because these assessments are typically the most common. So we're going to go back to our programs and then select the appropriate program that we're completing the assessment in. And we're going to once again go into our permanent supportive housing training project. On the top here where it says the annual assessment, we do have a warning label telling us that this client is due for an annual assessment. So just two things to note regarding the annual assessment. So if it's highlighted in orange, that means that this annual assessment is set to be due. If it's highlighted in red, that means it's already past due. So we're going to navigate to the Assessments tab here, and then we're going to select the Add icon. And our first step is to select the appropriate assessment that we're completing for this project. So we're going to be completing an annual assessment today, and we're going to select that annual assessment, then click on Next. The second step is to include household members. So just something to keep in mind regarding the annual assessment is that it goes based on the head of household start date. So if there's additional group members, you may also need to complete an assessment for them. So for today, we will be including one of the additional group members, and then we're going to click Next. So you'll see that it goes from that clear box to a blue box with a check mark. You're going to click Next. And again, the project status date is the date that you're completing this, and you want to ensure that you're verifying all of this information and make any necessary updates. And then you're going to click Save. And then you're going to complete the task by selecting this check mark, and it'll send you back to the program assessments history page. And here within the search bar, you're again able to search for a specific assessment. So if I wanted to identify the annual assessment, you can go ahead and search for it and it'll filter it to find that specific assessment. If you need to make edits, you can go ahead and select on that assessment and you're able to click on the pencil icon and then make the necessary updates and then save. And then once again, the vertical dots to delete this assessment would only be available for the agency administrator. So if you ever created an assessment by error, please reach out to your agency administrator for additional support. And now we're moving back over to our slides. So we will be going over the Notes tab. So the Notes tab includes all notes and the ability to add or manage notes. Notes available to users will display in the notes history and include the name and agency of the staff member who created the note, the category, and the date the note was created or last modified. Use the show and hide field icon to change the order or collapse information about notes. Hovering over the notes icon displays the note text. Hovering over the door icon displays the name of the project note was entered under, and then you'll select the add icon to create an agency level note. Adding program notes, at the agency level notes are available by all agencies and staff, whereas project level notes can only be viewed by agencies creating that note. To add a new program note, open the applicable program enrollment, click the Notes tab, and click the Add icon. Enter the note details, and if needed, select the lock icon to set the note to private. Notes added from within an enrollment will also appear under the main Notes tab and can be edited from that screen. To edit an existing note, you can click on the note to open it, select the edit icon to begin editing. To delete an existing note, open the notes and select the 3 vertical dots. Then you can click delete. The delete function is only available to users with agency administrator level access role type. And then moving on to our Files tab. So the Files tab includes a file history and the ability to add and manage files at the agency and program levels. To add a program level file, you will navigate to the Files tab within the client record. Select the most appropriate category and the predefined name for the file. Toggle the privacy button to prohibit the uploaded file being shared with staff members at other agencies. Drag and drop files or click choose a file to upload the file from a computer or other device. To view, edit, upload, delete, or link files within an enrollment, you will navigate to the Programs tab. Click on the desired enrollment. Select the Files tab and click the Add button to access the file uploaded screen. Click the 3 vertical dots to link any documents uploaded at the agency level. Files added at the project level will only be visible to users from that agency. And now we will be moving back to our training site to go over our notes and files then. So once we're back on the client's profile, we will once again navigate to the Programs tab because we will be completing a program level note. So we're going to open up our permanent supportive housing program, navigate to our notes section. And here, if there was additional notes that were added under the project, you will be able to see the notes history. And again, under the search bar, you're able to search for specific notes. This does come in handy if there's a lot of notes that have been imported for the family. And you're able to also add a filter and show and hide fields. So we're going to navigate to the plus icon, which is here. We're going to click on add. And then we're going to title the note. So if it was a case management note, we can just go ahead and put case management. And then the date is going to default to today's date. However, if you completed your case management session a day before, you can backdate the date. And this feature does allow time tracking. So if you want to include how much time you spent with the family, you can go ahead and input the minutes and or the hours, and then include any relevant notes, and then save. To view the note that you had completed, you can go ahead and click on that note, and the additional information will populate in this screen. If you need to edit it, then you can select this edit icon here, which is the pencil icon. If you needed to make this private, you can once again navigate to the lock icon. Currently, right now, it's unlocked, so it's private. If you public, sorry. And then if it's you click on it and it locks, now it's private, and you can select save. And here you can also preview the note summary. And if needed, you can also go ahead and delete this. To complete and upload a file, I did want to also go over the files for the agency level, which are identified under this paperclip here. So we do recommend for this participant who may be working with other agencies, for example, if they're under the County of Orange because they're enrolled under the coordinated entry system, we do encourage that those files be uploaded at the agency level, since there is another participating agency or other participating users that will need to access those files. So to complete a file at the agency level, once again, on the client navigation menu, you can click on the paperclip, which is the files, and you can select the add icon. The first step is to put the category. So for today, we're going to do a coordinated entry documentation. Then we're going to select a predefined name. So for today, we're going to do the CS authorization form. And then we're going to be able to choose a file. So if you select it, it'll open up your documents, and you can select the appropriate document that you need to upload, and then you can save them. And then here you'll be able to see all of the files that have been uploaded under this client. To complete a program level file, you will go to the Programs tab, navigate to the appropriate program, and then go to the paperclip again, which is the files. And then we can add a new file here. So it'll be the same exact as it is under the agency, except this will be at the program level specifically. So for today, we will be doing a housing plan document, and then we're going to choose a file, and then we're going to upload that document. And then we will be able to save it. And if you click on where it says preview, you can go ahead and expand the document that you had uploaded right there. If you need to link a file that was uploaded at the agency level to the program level, you can click on the three vertical dots and click on link from files. And then you can choose the appropriate file that needs to be linked and then link it. And if you need to view any additional documents, again, you can go ahead and select it and make any edits here by clicking on the pencil icon and making any necessary changes, as well as making it public or private. And that goes back to and that concludes all of our demos for today. Did want to just put this as a reminder that the HMIS team invites users to complete our Clarity New Interface Office Hours survey. The feedback from the survey is used to improve the content and the quality of future webinars. We'd greatly appreciate your feedback. And again, if anyone has any questions, please input that in the Q&A section. And just as a quick reminder to please enter your agency name in the chat. But if anyone has any questions right now that haven't already been answered, feel free to come off mute and ask away.
Hi, I'm Nancy. I actually had two questions. My first question is about linking files. For Can we think of it as kind of like is there another way to explain it so I understand a little bit better about what the functionality of that is?
Hey Nancy, thank you so much for your question. I will be passing this over to Elizabeth for additional support so she can better explain that for you.
Thank you, Nancy, for that question. It could be when a document was added and outside of your program, and it was meant to be included as part of your program record. So that would be cases where it would link back to your program.
Got it. So, for example, if a case manager were to upload a third-party verification at the program level, but they want, or at the agency level, and they want it to be public for everyone to see as its coordinate entry documentation, that's when linking would be helpful. Am I understanding that right?
For agency level, it wouldn't link back to if they uploaded within their program. Sorry, could you confirm, are you saying that they're linking it from the client profile or within the program enrollment?
Um, I guess my understanding was that they would be uploading under the program enrollment and linking it publicly. Yeah, sorry, I'm just not 100% sure um what the linking functionality does.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Linking would be linking to the program. It wouldn't link back to the client profile. So thank you for bringing up that question. We do want to note to everyone if the document is for coordinated entry, it is best to still switch over to County of Orange and upload that file within the client navigation menu, which is the file tab outside of a program enrollment, so that it's visible by um, all agencies supporting with CS support. So Liz, yeah, go ahead and support with showing that files tab. This is outside of any agency. So we do encourage agencies that are Access Point to switch over to County of Orange, select files on the client menu, which is on the left-hand side and not within their agency.
Okay, got it. That was more clear. Thank you so much. And then my second question was for on I know on the old interface we had like the little thumbnails for the documents. For our team is pretty helpful to have that, but I'm wondering if there's like an option to put that back on, or is the only functionality we have for that the preview?
The thumbnail. Let me double check what that looks like. Unless you can share your screen and kind of walk us through. I'm not completely sure what
I
thumbnail is.
I can go back to the old interface,
Thank you,
Nancy,
Liz.
because so in the old interface, Nancy, you're correct. It does have like the previews kind of in a big icon here. Um, in the new interface, currently right now, you'll only be able to view that kind of thumbnail by clicking on the preview option. So I know for a lot of coordinated entry documents, it's going to be very important that they are categorized correctly. So that way for you as admins that you'll be able to identify the, third-party documents, the authorization form, and any additional consent forms that were uploaded. So for all users that are uploading documents, just please ensure that you're verifying the correct category. Because yes, the only way you'll be able to view that would be by selecting the preview option here, and then just expanding that.
Got it. Thank you, Liz, for the extra clarification. I don't know if this would be an appropriate space for a suggestion, but maybe for the developers, if they can make the preview a little bit bigger, it's really tiny. But yeah, thank you so much for the explanation.
Thanks. And I did just also want to go back to what Elizabeth had mentioned earlier, in case there are any additional questions. So, on the client navigation menu here for the Files tab, this is what you see at like an agency level. So the only time that you really would link something would be if you need to move something from the agency level to the program level. You wouldn't be able to link something from like the program level to the agency level.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Of course. Did anyone else have any additional questions? Myra, I see that you raised your hand.
Hi, I'm sorry, I joined a little late, so I'm not sure if it's already been asked, but will providers be able to view historic services, case notes, once the transition occurs?
Yes, everything like any services or assessments that were completed, you'll still be able to see all of that under like the history tab, the same way as it's working under the current interface.
And Myra, if you have any test clients that you have worked on maybe last year recertification, you can go ahead and even search them up and kind of test out that functionality of looking at your previous client that you've entered in the training site and review it with the new interface as well.
I'm not seeing any additional questions, so I will stop the recording unless anyone else has additional questions.
And then I'm going to add the meeting links. Again, everyone feel free to access the meeting links. It provides additional resources. We do have another office hour session this Thursday, and all of our office hour materials will be the recording and materials will be on our website so that you can review it at a later time. And please feel free to provide your feedback in our survey so we can get your input to help us develop future trainings.
And once again, thank you all for joining office hours. We hope to continue seeing you in our additional office hours.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.